Hello, this is DJ Ray-Ban coming at you with an instructional video for my DJM-S9 mapping for Traktor. So first of all you will need to download the DJM-S9 utility from the Pioneer DJ website. This is where you choose control tone, phono or line if you have CD players and timecode like that, or on a USB stick. This is also where you can put your channels for record out into Traktor and some other good stuff. You can have FX banks and some other preferences. So in the TSI file that you downloaded, it will include these two mappings, one for deck A, one for deck B. They are quite the same. Deck A is this side, deck B is this side. They have some functions for deck A here, which will be combined with the browse function. I will go through that later on. So in the audio setup, you will choose DJM-S9 ASIO. In the output routings, 1-2 for A, 3-4 for B, 7-8 for C, 5-6 for D. Output routings are the exact same. And you can see here that I could record my mix from deck D because this is me talking. The way to set up that is in the mix recorder. Check it to input D, and you can see here the record, the main record from the mixer. Good to know, right? Okay, first of all, I would recommend you to sync a modifier. You see this one is lit, this is not. It's the key lock for each deck, so if I press both of these, nothing happens. If I press both of these that are not lit, they get lit. And I turn off the key lock by like that. Now the modifiers are synced. So you can turn on key lock by pressing both of these buttons. So alright, the browser, obviously. You can browse your list. While holding shift you can browse your tree. Load on each side is corresponding to each deck. So the pad modes, you can edit both pad modes with the buttons here. Holding shift is another pad mode for the hotkey and roll button. Slicer and sampler will still go to the same pad mode because we only have 6 pad modes on this mapping. So the hotkey page, obviously. Uncommon is that shift will do the same. And if you the lastly pressed hotkey, holding shift and pressing an FX button here will edit the color. To delete a hotkey, the lastly pressed one, shift and panel, will delete it. And if I didn't say already, I've made it so you can have different pad modes on each deck with shift and parameter. So let's go to the next pad mode, which is pitch play. At the moment key lock is off, but pressing any pad will turn it on. The parameter buttons will edit a scale The first one is chromatic. The selected pad will be orange. Then we have a major scale. The selected pad will be green. We have a minor scale. Selected pad is pink. And you can also say on the pattern which scale you are on. This also goes around the clock. And I think I forgot to tell you that you can do key adjusts while key lock is on the hotkey page with the parameters. So that's the pitch play functions. Next is beat jump. So the standard page is 1, 2, 4, 8 beats. Forward, backwards. The page to the left is 1, a half, quarter, 8. 8. And the page to the right is 32, 16, 8 and 4. Let's turn that off for now. Next pad mode, loops. So this pad right here that is a little lighter green is 4 beats. A red pad means that is the selected size and that it's on. And red is according to the stock loop buttons on the S9. And the page to the left is rolls instead. And the little lighter pad is still 4. Here comes a transport mode on the slicer button. This is the master. It will light up if this deck is on the master. You can press this button here if you ever need to clean your needle or something. Now we are playing internally. This is the Q button. It's mapped a little like a CDJ. You have the play and your Q. This is key lock. Notice that it doesn't turn on until you let it go. This is one of the things with the browser that I mentioned. If you hold this one and use the browse, you can edit the key and reset. Above that, as I said, is master. Next to that is the sync. Sync is like on the key lock. You can edit the tempo of the track with the browse when you hold it, or reset with press. The button here is flux mode, or slip if you are a Pioneer user. The pads on the bottom here is like a little scroller type of thing. If the deck is playing, now flux was on. This is the only pad mode where shift functions are different. Here you have a return to the beginning of the track. Here we have a search in the track while the deck is off. If the deck is on, you will have a simple pitch bend. And the play button and the shift will turn it to relative. That means the time code will be on. So blue is time code, green is internal. The other buttons still are like when shift is not held. That is keylock, sync and flux or slip. So now we can go on to the sampler. That will be your remix deck. This is designed that like yes, you have the gain here as well for that deck. They are designed like a color code, so red is the first slot, yellow is the second, cyan is the third. This purple-ish color is the slot 4. With the parameter you can change on both sides actually. Everything is red now, so everything will be the 8 first cells in the slot 1. And all of these are purple, so they are the 8 cells in the slot 4. And yellow. So you can customize this for each side. And as I told you earlier, you can edit pad modes on each side with the shift and parameter. These are blinking right now because they are bound to the remix deck. So if you have the remix deck playing but not any sound coming from it, you will still have this blinking. Just to remind you. If you have the remix deck synced as well to the other decks, they will flash in time with the beat. So now let's talk about some effects, or let's begin with the loops. Like it's labeled on the mixer 4-bit loop, whatever size you have, it will make a 4-bit loop. So these effects buttons are for the internal effects on the S9 mixer. This on the other hand is for software effects. Originally Serato, but I have made it so you can use Traktor effects with it. So actually stop with that. Each time I flip the switch, you will get this input to deck C, which is a live input. And a little short delay. In soundtracks you can hear it more obviously. So FX button FX11 that was set to a delay freeze at the moment. Let's edit that. With shift and parameter you can edit the filter. Yes, the filter in this case, it depends on what effect you have. And yes, this is like on the S9 itself. If you hold the button and you turn the browse, you can edit your effect, choose another one. This effects 1, 2 will adjust the EQ for that input deck, so like the older sweep. It removes the mid frequencies, boosts the highs and lows. And the other way around, boosts the mids, lowers the highs and lows. FX button 1 free is FX unit 2, and it adjusts every knob in the FX unit, like this, you see. And yes, everything is post fader, post crossfader as well. FX button 2, 1 is FX unit 3. This one as well, if you hold it and browse, you can change what effect you have there. Here's the reverb. Yes, FX button 2, 2 will be your mixer effects for that channel, the live input, that is. Now is the filter applied. If you hold this button and use the browse, you can edit what effect you have there. Let's try the reverb, for example. Post crossfader as well. Post fader. And yes, the mixer effects in Traktor are like a combined filter. Really cool. FX button 2, 3 is FX unit 4. In the same fashion as FX unit 2 above, every knob is turned with this level depth knob, and the parameter button does nothing really. Oh yeah, I remembered. This is like normally back to start, but in relative mode or absolute with timecode, shift, and this will always be a search. It's something with the Traktor to do with yeah, I don't really know really, the playback function. And yeah, this is one thing. This is the hotkey page on deck B. This is the transport on deck A. If you hold this pad right now, or was it the other way around? If you hold this right now, the hotkey, the browse doesn't work because this is duplicated over to this side, so you don't actually make a browse when you do a key adjust. Same thing with the sync button. The browse doesn't work. But as long as you don't have transport on any side, it will be normal. And one more thing, that is the flux. If you use the flux loop in any fashion, flux will turn off when you let go of the pad. And that's the only things to keep in mind. They are not huge. So yeah. So that was everything I had for you today. I hope you enjoyed the mapping. If you have a DJM-S9 and you wanna use Traktor with it, alright man. Peace.